So it all boils down to this, folks. One game to rule it all. Man City, Liverpool. We'll talk about that and the rest next. Video today. We look forward to match day number 32 over in the Premier League, and we'll get to it in just 1 second. If you do, where you been? Smash your subscribe button, keep Man Utd all things Premier League related, Championship related, world football related. We got it all here, boys. Under one rooski. Yes, it pretty much boils down to this one game. It's Manchester City who are top, up against Liverpool who are second. 1 point the difference, because between two sides, winner should take it all. That's right. As we, of course, we build up to a dramatic conclusion at the top, we also got to build up to a dramatic conclusion at the bottom. As, of course, less past week, midweek, we did see, of course, Everton lose to Burnley, which puts them right in the thick of things to potentially go down for the first time in Premier League history. We'll take a look at it, all of it, in a minute. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons, guys. Thank you for loving, of course, behind the scenes. If you're interested in helping the channel out, check out the link down below. But anyway, let's have a look at what went on this past week, week and a bit, really. And, of course, let's have a look at what's going to go on this coming weekend, big weekend of football over in the Premier League. So these are the results. Of course, Brighton with a 0-0 draw against Norwich. Crystal Palace did smash Arsenal 3-0 in the end. Burnley did lose to City the first time around, 2-0 win for City. Chelsea got spanked as well by Christian Eriksen and Brentford, 4-1 in the end. Liverpool did their thing, 2-0 win over Watford, as you expect. Leeds with the draw against Southampton. Man United and Leicester City also do get to draw. Spurs, though, 5-1 winners over Newcastle. West Ham with a 2-1 over Everton, and Wolves did the number over Stevie G's Aston Villa. And then wrapping it up there, of course, Burnley with a 3-2 win over Everton, to, of course, make the table look like this. As you can see, Manchester City are 1 point clear over Liverpool, who, of course, got a bit of a massive gap between, like nearly, what we're looking at, 13 points clear over Chelsea, and Tottenham are in fourth at the moment, of course. As you look at it, of course, is the race for fourth now going to start to become the race for third, as Chelsea are going to get sucked into it? But realistically, look at that. It is very, very spicy for that race for fourth. Man United all the way down to seventh. They have a game in hand on West Ham. Of course, Arsenal to fifth, and Spurs currently in fourth. It is so tight. We've got a London derby. We've got the Manchester United against Liverpool. We've got a lot of big games still to be played, of course, which will define this season and define where these teams will end up. Down the foot of the table, though, looks like Norwich are going down. Watford, of course, within striking distance at the moment of Everton. I'd love to see it, guys. I would love to see it. Burnley, of course, and Everton also in the thick of things at the moment. It's very, very spicy. And, of course, a couple of wins, a couple of favourable wins for Burnley or Everton. And Leeds United and Newcastle could get sucked right back in the thick of things. It is not over by a long chalk. We've got some major games that, of course, could shape the foot of the table. Let's take a look at our own little table then. This is the Prediction League. Take a bloody bow. These guys, Jimmy Wharton, Shepherd, Bianca Muller, Daddy Cool, Nana Cam, of course, picked up 6 bins there. Well done to you guys, of course, for kicking ass and taking this. And also a big shout out to my patrons who do also very, very well behind the scenes. That's, of course, the state of play there. What about the mini leaderboard? Now, this is, of course, from January to now. Of course, Eman Hussein's got 65 points. That's 7 points clear of the next best thing, which is Hansworth and Max Sangadi for the time being. But is he leading the major leaderboard, the master leaderboard? You have to wait to the end of the month to find out about that. But, of course, no wait for the next round of matches, because they're coming at you right here, right now. Prediction League, here it is. Cutley 4 Premier League. Get in amongst it. It's free. Get your name in likes. And, of course, have a little go at this one, because you could win this week. You could also put yourself in contention to be the predictor of the month. So these are the games. So, of course, let's get into it. Shall we kick it all off with Arsenal up against Brighton, of course, coming at you on Saturday, April the 9th. Now, these two sides, of course, play each other according to my eyes 11 times in 2013. 5 wins for Arsenal, 3 for Brighton, and 3 draws. Of course, just 1 win in 3, though, for Arsenal right now. 67% form over the last 6. Against Brighton side, who, of course, haven't won the last 7 games. 8% form for them. They are in a bit of trouble at the moment. Of course, last time around, they're over at the Emirates. Of course, it was a 2-0 win for Arsenal. They picked up that win back in May 2021, around about towards the back end of last season. Of course, 0-0 it was over at the Amex back in, of course, October. Of course, Brighton, though, haven't scored in the last 3 games. Goodness gracious me, coming to this on the back of a draw against Norwich. Of course, Arsenal did get spanked by Crystal Palace and Vieira last time around. Of course, as they look to get back to anyways. 13-8 on Arsenal, 14-5 is draw, 19-4 is your way, and that is Brighton on this one. Arsenal surely going to win this one back at home, 2-0 win for them to make a push for top 4 once again. Next, of course, we have Norwich against Burnley, and of course, bit of a relegation crunch clash here, coming at you on Sunday, April the 10th. Now, these two sides, of course, play each other according to my eyes 23 times since the year 2000. 8 wins to Norwich, 11 wins to Burnley, and 4 draws as well. Of course, Norwich do 8% form for them, haven't won the last 9 games. Meanwhile, Burnley just 1 and 6 for them, 25% form. Of course, heading into this one. Last time around, though, over at Carrow Road, it was a 2-0 win for Burnley back in, of course, July 2020. The reverse fixture at Burnley, of course, back in October was a 0-0 draw as well. So Norwich, of course, haven't scored a goal against Burnley in back-to-back games. Meanwhile, of course, Norwich with the 0-0 draw against Brighton last time around. Burnley with that 3-2 win over Everton last time around as well. Look at the odds for this one. Norwich are actually 50-8 for the victory. Of course, 11-5 is draw. 31-20 is your Burnley on this one. I think it's going to be tight here. 2-1 win in the end. Going to give it to Norwich to maybe open up a can of worms, of course, for the next campaign. Of course, next, of course, we have Southampton up against Chelsea. Let's get in the deep end then, shall we, on this one? Of course, played the 46 times in 1983. Of course, 8 wins for Southampton, 20 wins for Chelsea, and 10 draws as well. Southampton, though, just 1 win and 6, 25% form for them. Up against the Chelsea, back-to-back defeats them in all competitions as they got spanked by Brentford and spanked by Real Madrid in quick succession. Of course, last time around, though, over at St Mary's, it was a draw back in February 2021. The reverse fixture was a 3-1 win for Chelsea back in, of course, October 2021. Also, they also played each other in the EFL Cup, couple of weeks later. It was a 4-3 win for Chelsea to get through to the next stage. Meanwhile, Southampton with a draw against Leeds, and of course Chelsea did lose to Real Madrid last time around. The odds, though, for this one, what do we got on this? We have, of course, where are we? I just spotted it. It is Southampton 3-1 for the victory, 11-10 on is your Chelsea, 11-4 is your bloody draw. I'm going to go with a win for Chelsea, back to winning ways with a maintain top 3 spot. Next, of course, we have Leicester City. That's right, coming at you up against Crystal Palace at the King Power Stadium. Of course, coming at you on Sunday, April the 10th as well. Now, these two sides, of course, according to my eyes, played each other 43 times in 1993, 60 wins for Leicester, 50 wins for Crystal Palace, and 12 draws as well. Leicester City, though, just 1 and 4 for them, 58% form. Up against Crystal Palace side, unbeaten in the last 6, picking up 4 wins in the last 5, 83% form, as Palace have hit form at a very, very good time. Of course, last time out of the King Powers, a 2-1 for Leicester back in April 2021. The reverse fixture, of course, at Selhurst Park was a 2-2 draw back in October. Meanwhile, Leicester with a draw against United last time around. Of course, Palace with a 3-0 win over Everton, and it's actually been 1, 2, 3, 4 clean sheets on the spin for Palace as they've hit very, very good form at the right time. 30-10 is your Leicester, 12-5 is your draw, and of course we got 2-1 is your Crystal Palace on the bloody road. I'm actually going to go with Leicester here, though, against the grain. Of course, Palace have been good, but Leicester at home should be safe as houses. Next, of course, we have Watford up against who do we have? Leeds United coming at you at Vicarage Road. Now, these two sides, of course, played each other, according to my eyes, 20 times in 1999. 7 wins for Watford, 8 wins for Leeds, and we've got 5 draws as well. Just 1 and 6 there for Watford right now, 25% form. Up against the Leeds side, unbeaten the last 3, 42% form over the last 6 as well. Last time around, though, at Vicarage Road in the league was a 4-1 win for Watford back in, of course, August 2014. The reverse fixture at Ellen Road was a 1-0 win for Leeds back in, of course, October this campaign. Leeds, though, with the draw against Southampton. Of course, Watford with a loss against Liverpool last time around as well. Look at the odds for this one. 70-10 is your host, 25 is your draw, 31-20 is your Leeds United on the road. I'm going to back Del Boys, of course, with a 2-1 win for Watford over Leeds in the end. Then, of course, we have the Zinger chicken dinner, of course, coming at you on Sunday, April the 10th. It all boils down to this. Is City up against Liverpool at the Etihad. Now, these two sides played each other 56 times in 1993, 30 wins to City, 26 wins to Liverpool, and 17 draws, of course. City, though, winning 3 in the bounce, 83% form over the last 6. Up against the Liverpool side, also 83% for winning 5 on the spin at the moment. Of course, last time around, though, at City Ground, it was a 1-1 draw. Sorry, when I say the City Ground, I mean the Etihad was a draw way back, of course, November 2020. The reverse fixture at the Anfield was a 2-2 draw back in October 2021, of course. But Liverpool just 1 win in the last 6 games, of course, over City in all competitions and all venues. Of course, that was back in, of course, Anfield in November 2019. So it's difficult to call. Meanwhile, Liverpool with a 3-1 over Benfica in Benfica. Meanwhile, Man City with a 1-0 win over Atletico last time around. Of course, back-to-back clean sheets as well. Just 1 goal conceded over the last 5 games for City. The odds, though, for this one, what are we looking at here? We got Man City even seems to be the victory, 5-2 is your Liverpool, and 11-4 is your draw. It could go either way on this one. I'm going to back in the draw, though, unfortunately, sitting right on the fence, which of course will make it as you were at the top of the table, 1 point in the gap, and of course City in the driving seat for the time being. Next, of course, we have Everton have got their own shit to sort out, and of course Manchester United, of course, trying to race for the top 4. Now, these two sides played 63 times in 1993, 9 wins to Everton, 40 wins to United, and 14 draws. Just 1 win and 6 of Everton right now, 17% form. Up against the United side, 1 win and 6, 42% form, of course, heading into this game. Last time round, though, at Goodison Park was a 3-3 draw back in, of course, February 2021. Meanwhile, the reverse fixture at Old Trafford was a 1-1 draw back in October 2021 as well. Of course, United with the draw against Leicester, and of course Everton with a 3-2 loss against Burnley last time around. The odds on this one then, 7-2 is Everton, 4-3 on is United, 11-4 is your draw. I'm backing, of course, Everton to lose this one, 2-1 win at home to put them right in the thick of things as, of course, the drop looms. Next, of course, Aston Villa up against, of course, Tottenham Hotspur over at Villa Park. Now, these two sides, of course, played each other, according to my eyes, 53 times in 1993, 15 wins for Villa, 25 wins for Spurs, and 13 draws. Villa, though, 3 defeats on the spin, 50% form over the last 6. That's 1-3, lost 3. Up against the Spurs side, just 1 defeat past 5 of them, 67% form, of course, over the last 6 games. Leicester at Villa Park was a 2-1 for Spurs. That was back in, of course, March 2021. The reverse fixture down at the Fancy Pants Stadium was a 2-1 win for Tottenham back in October. Spurs over the 5-1 win over Newcastle, scoring now, 10 goals in the last 3 games up against the Villa side, of course, so back-to-back defeats. In fact, 3 defeats on the spin for them. Heading into this one, of course, looking at the odds on this, then shall we got Villa 21-10 for the victory, 5-4 is your Spurs, 12-5 is your draw. Could go either way, but really back in Spurs with the 2-0 win on the road as they've hit form. A very, very good time for that race for 4th spot. Into the final 2 now is Brentford up against West Ham United coming at you at the Community Stadium. And these 2 sides have played each other according to minus 3 times in 2021 for Brentford, 2 for West Ham, and 0 draws. Of course, 1 defeat past 4 for Brentford right now, 50% form over the last 6. 70% for West Ham, 1 defeat past 6 for them. 1 defeat past 4 for them, 50% form over the last 6, 1-3 and lost 3 as well. Last round at the Community Stadium, of course, was a friendly, doesn't really count, but of course a reverse fixture at the London Stadium was, of course, 2-1 for Brentford back in October. Brentford, of course, with a 4-1 win over Chelsea last time around. Of course, West Ham with a 2-1 win over Everton last time around. The odds for this one, 70-10 is your Brentford, 23-10 is draw, 31-20 is your away, but it could go either way. Bit of a spicy. You're going to go with a draw myself. 1-1 right in the middle, which of course won't favour any of the 2 sides as they might make a stride up the table. Next, of course, finally, should I say, is Newcastle United up against Wolves. It actually kicks off the weekend coming at you on Friday. Now, these 2 sides have played each other 18 times, 3 4 wins for Newcastle, 5 for Wolves, and 9 draws as well. Newcastle, though, 3 defeats on the spin, 50% form for them. Up against the Wolves side, of course, winning 3 of the last 6, of course, 50% form for them as well. Last round, though, of course, heading into this game at St James's Park, it was a draw back in, of course, February 2021. The reverse fixture at Molineux was 2-1 win for Wolves as well. In fact, 4 of the last 5 have ended up as a draw. Of course, will this be another one? Meanwhile, the Geordies coming to on the back of that 5-1 loss against Spurs. Of course, Wolves with the 2-1 win over Aston Villa last time around. The odds here, of course, 5-4 is your Newcastle. Of course, 12-5 is your Wolves. 11-5 is your draw. Could go either way once again. All eyes on this one. 2-1 win for the Geordies to take it to the house and again move away from that top zone to remove any fear. That's, of course, my take on it. Prediction League. It is here. Cut4 Premier League. Get your name in lights. Be sure to hit the old thumbs up. Be sure to smash your subscribe if you are new, as of course it does wonders for the old algorithm. But that is it, guys. Smash the thumbs up. Smash the subscribe. Check this down below. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, also Patreon. But until then, boys, we're done.